Howdy y'all, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 17 with the Butcher Man. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Just got off work, came home, decided we was going to do some Farming Simulator, and I'm pretty sure my volume's off. I normally turn my volume off if I'm going to do like simple stuff while I'm like messing around or whatever. But today, we're going to be going to do a harvest. We're going to go harvest the field we just did. And you'll see I have a bunch more money just because I was kind of messing around yesterday. Not really messing around, I was working. Field 23 and 24 down there are, they're owned by the same guy. And I end up going down there to do some work. And I got that guy's, like, reputation of us as far up as you can go. And I did a little testing with that as well. Found out that once their reputation gets all the way to the top, they no longer give you any discount, no matter how many missions you do. So basically, that's just how that works. And then he paid me to plant. That's already unfolded. He paid me to plant sunflowers on the field on field 23 over there. So it'll be ready. It'll have sunflowers on it whenever we go to buy it. Just planted them yesterday, so hopefully at some point we'll be ready with those. And then we can buy it and just harvest sunflowers on it straight away. Ooh. This header is super, super narrow. Super narrow. I'm telling you what, it's crazy how narrow this thing is. It'll work out though. We'll get this field done eventually. Might take us... Oh, come on. I don't want to leave any. None. I hate leaving any at all. It just bugs me. They're not really in rows very well, you notice that? They're not really in rows. I wish they was in rows better. I like nice even rows because they look amazing when they're in rows, man. But we'll just kind of keep going up and back and forth like this. I'm going to back up and hit that a little bit more to that side maybe. And right there. Right in that row. Get the teeth right in there. It's only a 4-row, I think a 4-row header, right? That's what it looks like. We'll just keep going like this. I want it to be even. Makes it a little bit difficult when it's not. Good, keep her nice and straight. I really hope when we upgrade our combine, we need to get one that has GPS, just to make it a lot easier on us. Right back in there. Get in there. Cutting corn, man. I know a lot of you guys like to chaff your corn, but I've already talked about it before that in America we don't chaff corn. I mean, we do. Some people do. They do it a little bit. They'll do it somewhat, you know, they'll do a little bit of it to feed their cows and, you know, mix some other feed and stuff. But for the most part, corn is harvested over here. It's harvested and it's still turned into cow feed. It's turned into cow feed. It's turned into, I know they do, not anhydrous, what is it? Ethanol. They turn it into ethanol. Ethanol is kind of becoming a really big thing over here. That's where an awful lot of our corn goes, is in the ethanol plants. So, we harvest our corn in America. We may end up chaffing some of it, because we do need to, once we start getting into dairy cows and stuff, we do need to start feeding them. So we'll just have to wait until that time gets here. Alright, so I have now discovered something really, really, really bad about this combine and this corn header. The corn header is not actually wide enough to cover the whole front of the combine. And if you're not careful, it's sitting there crushing a whole row of corn as you're driving, like the wheel is crushing it. I did not notice it was doing that until it was too late. I've already done like over half the field, And it's probably been crushing a row of corn every time I've went through. And like I cut through the crop earlier, like through the middle of it, and I'll bet it crushed 2 rows on 1 row on each side. That's so terrible. Like, it's great, the mod works, but I don't know. The wheel, I guess, is like sticking out just enough to like catch the crop and kill it. But it's destroying a row of corn just because the header is not wide enough to cover the front of the combine, which is kind of dumb. Because in real life, it would not be like that. You would not be able to go through and do a harvest, because there's no farmer that would buy a combine or buy a header like that would sit there and just crush their corn while they're going through it. So basically, the only way I figured it out is you have to basically, instead of trying to run the corn into, like, between the teeth of the header, you have to actually, like, hit the corn with the teeth of the header. And that's like the best way to do it, because if I go to the left even a little bit, it's going to crush that next row with the tire. Kind of stinks, but just for future reference, if you're sitting there combining corn, you just gotta be careful. And you can't really tell because like the FS is like Farming Simulator 15 or whatever before, you would be able to kind of tell because there'd be like a dark strip where you were combining at. Like if you were crushing the crop, there'd be a dark strip from where the ground was still fertilized because you didn't harvest it. Well, this, when you harvest your crops, the ground's not dark. You know, by the time you go, because the last fertilization is on stage 2 of the growth stage. Ooh. The last fertilization is on growth 2 or 3, whichever one it is, before it completely matures. That is. We're going the wrong way. I need to run over here. Got one of the 4755s. This is the older one. 47.5 hours on this thing. Which isn't, I mean, it's not much if you compare it to realistic tractors or whatever. That's not a lot, but me in the game, it's just costing you money. I mean, just tons and tons of money. That combine, for instance, we need to upgrade that thing, you know, at some point, because it's costing us just a ton of money. I think it's a couple $1,000s a day just to own the combine. So we've got to keep it working. I think what we might do is, after we get this field taken care of, what I'll probably do is we'll go down there and buy one of those fields. I don't know which one, but both of them are just planted, I think. At least I think they're both planted, right? Can't remember if I planted both of them. I'm sure I did. Yeah, that one's canola and that one's sunflowers. We can always check 22. 22 is barley. And it is ready to harvest, actually. So as long as that farmer hasn't harvested that by then, we may be able to buy, well, no, that'll probably be out of our price range, to be honest. Because it'll probably be super, super expensive. Alright, let's continue our harvest. Get all our corn sucked up in the combine. Now I'm like really like jittery about whether I'm crushing a row of corn or not. Because that's money. That's money. I don't know how much corn is in a row of corn, but that's money every time I'd go through there and crush a row of crop. You know, you guys know what I'm saying. It's just tons and tons of money. What is going on there? Why are you not going in the combine? What in the world? That's so irritating. It's just simply not going in the combine. Alright, well, we'll just leave it for now. It seems it doesn't want to go in the combine. We'll just kind of go down through here, taking off 2 rows. Alright, so I have made the decision to turn crop destruction off for now. Yeah, since that was irritating me just beyond no belief, or beyond whatever you want to call it. Just because that's ridiculous. You know, I'm getting a little irritated. I get a little flustered, you know, by the fact that, you know, the header's not big enough to cover the front of the combine, so I've got to deal with the fact that it's just crushing my crops. You know, or like here where the crops just go through the side of the combine and then I have to run it over. So anytime we use the corn header, we're just going to turn crop destruction off until we get a different combine, I should say. We get a different combine with a bigger header. I'll turn it back on once we're done with the corn here, probably. Let me get turned around here. We only got like a couple more passes, I think. 2 more, maybe. We should be good. 2 and a bit. Should get like a full combine, and then maybe 40%, maybe something like that. That should be pretty good. For the most part, we'll get this combined, and then we'll go get the Massey. We'll get the Massey and the plow. Get this field worked under. I'm kind of debating on whether I want to plow the fields every time, or just like every other time, or basically just when it like every 3rd time or something like that. I don't know when it decides you need to, but I'm trying to decide when I want to. We may end up plowing more than it actually wants us to, just because I actually kind of like plowing. I actually kind of enjoy it. You know, it's kind of relaxing just sitting there, you know, ripping the ground up. I actually rather enjoy plowing in real life as well. You know, other than the blade keeps, you know, the blades sometimes just keep flipping over and there's nothing you can really do about it. Keep hitting big rocks and stuff, but you basically just got to back up to flip it back over and then just run it back through it. Trying to pull the rock out of the ground. That is something I did not know you could actually do. Look at that. You can actually pour it right into the thing. That is not actually what I was planning on doing. I actually just kind of set it there, that way I could pull the trailer up underneath the spout, and the spout would like drop it in the trailer while I was dumping it in the thing. But apparently if you just drive your combine over there, you can just dump your combine out in there. Which, if you think about it, is realistic, because you can just kind of dump your corn anywhere you want to dump it. That's good stuff, man. That field grown yet? There's like a corner. That field right there is ready to be sprayed. But there's a corner, that corner over there, the one that guy decided to run over a bunch of times. It's like, it's not growing. Like, it's not jumping into its next growth stage, which there's like a problem with that from time to time, I think. But I don't know. At the moment, it's just kind of an issue. Did I fold that up? No. Okay, there we go. But yeah, if we run over here and look at it, you can see it's still in the first growth stage. I want to spray the field, but I really can't with it like this, because then I'd have to come back and respray it, you know. Got the case tractor put away, got the trailer put away, got the corn store, got all that stuff done. And we can jump in the Massey Ferguson. Listen to that, just awesomeness. And I got my crop destruction turned back on, just so you guys know. I didn't forget about it. Now that the corn is all done, I can turn it on and we should be good for a bit. It is up in it. No, hold on. Yeah, okay. Trying to make sure my barrel in the front is up, a little weight. I probably need to put a little bit bigger weight on this thing, just because it's such a huge tractor. But you know, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it as it comes. Let's go right here. First pass needs to probably be like that. We'll just unfold that. Drop her in there and let's go, man. Let's do it to it. Digging up the ground. I still keep trying to find fields I can expand, but so far I haven't found one yet. I think there's one down there. One of those down there I think is one I could probably try to work on expanding a little bit of it. I think. I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to just see. We just have to wait and see. I think what I'm going to do with this is we're just going to start driving. It's not a really big field, so I'll probably just do it like this. And we'll just kind of drive. We'll just do it like so. Might be about the best way to do it. We should be able to get her all plowed up in no time. The big one, I think it's a 180 Massey or 280. I think it's a 180 Massey. What kind of horsepower is this in this thing? 280. That's right. Okay. Huge tractor, man. Huge tractor. Got it all coming around. We could use GPS, but I don't know. I don't know how well I feel about GPS in this plow. It just, I don't know. The offset doesn't seem to be the most ideal of settings. Is it there? It looks about right. If I just put my wheel right there in the furrow, I think it should be plowing up. Yeah, we should be good, man. We'll just plow it just like this. If I had track IR, I could lean over. I'm actually leaning over right now, but it's not really doing any good, so I'll just stop, I guess. End up hurting my neck. You just put your wheel down in the furrow and you go at it, man. Going to town. Gonna drag it out there a bit. I haven't really had anybody tell me I'm doing it wrong. I think the most comments I've been getting is Mark Jackson. Give him a shout out, Mark Jackson. Been talking about my New Hollands. I guess he's a really big New Holland fan, so he's super excited that I got New Hollands now. So he's been talking a bit in the channel, which is always good. I always appreciate the conversation and the comments and stuff. It's always a good thing, man. The YouTube life on a small channel is, you know, being a small time YouTuber is very lonely sometimes. People don't talk to you, then you get all sad and lonely and depressed, and then you're just like, well, why am I even doing YouTube? And then you have somebody talk to you and be like, oh, your New Hollands are awesome, and you're just like, sweet, that's why I do YouTube right there, so that people can like my New Hollands. Just saying. Get the word out there, guys. Get the word out. Just about done. There's only like a couple more passes left. Let me adjust my headset. Mrs. Butcherman came home. We was chatting a bit about eggs and the like. My partner at work actually gave me duck eggs. I've never tried duck eggs before, but I guess we'll try them. See what happens. See how things go. I can't remember how you would do a plow. Can't remember. I'll have to think about it or look it up or something. I can't remember, like, if you're plowing a field, would you start in the center or would you go... I think you start in the center. Like, I think if I remember right, when me and my boss plowed a field, like we both started in the center and then you just kind of work your way out, maybe? I can't remember. I started on the outside and worked my way in. Actually, I think this is how you would do it, because you're basically pushing the dirt outward, away from the center. If you started on the center and went out, I don't know. We'll get it figured out eventually. Hopefully this here's the last pass, maybe. Should be. It kind of looks like it should be. I keep my wheel in the right place. Is it? I think it is. It looks like it is. This is a pretty wide plow. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited about getting the biggest one too, but we'll probably at least keep this one probably forever. Just kind of move it around, keep it, like, we'll probably keep this one here on the farm, and then, like, we'll have the really big plow in some place that would actually be necessary. Love the sound of this tractor though. I am just blown away by this tractor. Just the sound of it. Even just sitting there at idle, it was just amazing. Super, super amazing. Alright, now we need to cultivate it. I was thinking I'd probably end it after the plowing, but I don't think it's been that long. And I like to get stuff done. Like, it's always nice to, like, you know, come in, do a video, you know, work on the farm, and actually accomplish something. She's gonna yell at me. I think I just crushed one of her bushes. You gotta be careful about that. If you're a farmer, you don't wanna make the missus mad. She's the one that prepares your food. She's the one that makes your dinner while you're out working. Alright, there we go. Got that hooked up, and let's go. Alright, got the cultivator in the ground. Just ripping her up. I am using GPS for this, just because it'll make it a lot easier. The cultivator's centered, so it makes it a lot easier. Should be able to just go like this. I never did like get my buttons set up properly. Alright, we're just cooking with grease now. Just cooking it up, man. And I have discovered something of the utmost importance to our farm simming, or at least my version of it, or the recording part. Apparently, my OBS will not record Farming Simulator 17 on the high settings. Because I just switched to high settings and it wouldn't do anything. The screen was black. I had to reset my computer and then that didn't fix it. Actually, before I reset my computer, it actually wasn't even picking up my microphone. So, I don't know. And then once my computer started back up, it was picking up my microphone, but the screen was black. So I'm just like, what in the world? And I'm just like, well, maybe I'll change it back to medium settings. I did. It's working fine, as you can see. So no mirrors for us until I maybe figure out what in the world's going on. But I have no idea. Anybody has any idea? Just please let me know. Because that's a bit of a mystery to me. I would think it wouldn't make a difference to the hardware profile on the game itself. I even tried like deleting the game capture thing and then redoing it, and yep, still nothing. But yeah, I got a couple more passes left. Got that one there, and then all the way over there on the other side. Man, I was hoping for mirrors too, man. That's what I was looking forward to, is getting mirrors. I did happen to get my button set up for my activating GPS on my steering wheel, so that's going to help me out a lot. It's kind of annoying having to like take my hand off my steering wheel, reach down, put Control W or whatever every time. But I'm going to finish up the cultivating. I'm going to go grab the seeder. That way we can go ahead and finish up this field. Alright, got my big old seeder out. This thing does not have a cultivator on it, believe it or not. That is just, I don't know. It kind of astounds me that this big old thing don't have a cultivator, but that's fine. We'll just cultivate beforehand. What in the world? Right, automatic width. Over there. Somewhere. Should be good. I've just got to get it in place now. We are planting soybeans, which I know we've been doing a lot of soybeans actually lately, but it just seems the time of year for soybeans, I guess. At least to me it seems. I see soybeans all over the place right now, so that might be why I feel like it's the time for soybeans. But we're gonna plant these, and then I need to go get the sprayer and come over and spray these. Because you do actually spray soybeans, at least my uncle does. He has soybeans sprayed right after they're planted. I'm not really sure what he sprays them with. I forgot. I asked him about it and he told me, but Of course, like I'm saying, I don't remember, but there's something you spray them with. Eventually I'll know because I'll be a farmer. Big time farmer. Have tons and tons of land and stuff. It'd be amazing. He's looking good though. But this thing don't have a cultivator or a fertilizer. Doesn't have fertilizer in it either. That's why we gotta spray it. But just all the more work we get to do. It's amazing. Lots of excitement. I'm trying to think of what we're going to do tomorrow. It's most likely going to be something to do with probably working on a different field. Whether it's ours or not, I don't know. There is a field kind of close to the or right next to the sheep field, right next to the sheep pasture, that I'd like to start working on because I'd like to buy it and then turn it into grass. I don't remember where are the cows on this map. Cows are okay. They're down south. That wouldn't be too bad. Field 11 is what I'm looking at to turn into grass, which wouldn't be too bad. We'd just have to like mow it and then transport the bales down to the cows, and that's not that far. And sheep are going to be our main source of like trying to get grass and stuff, or at least needing grass for the most part. So that's why our grass field would need to be where, you know, right there next to them. Well, that didn't take very long at all. This is a big cedar and it is a very small field. All our fields right now we have are really small. Most of the fields on this map really aren't that big anyway. Until we get into like some of the bigger fields in the corners of the map and that sort of thing. But for now, we're just kind of sticking around the farm. We got to work up to that sort of thing. Work up to being able to afford the big fields and the big farms, equipment and that sort of stuff. Alright, we should be able to leave this here. It should be just fine. We'll jump in this thing. Start it up. It's got plenty of spray in it, so we should be fine on that aspect. Now this shouldn't take very long at all. Not with this big old sprayer. Oop. Better get on my side of the road. I still would really like it if they would change it to where these were actually considered row crop tires on this sprayer. Because they're supposed to be. At least as far as I gather, they're supposed to be. Anyhow. Is that about right? Kind of looks about right. Be fairly close. What does this say? This says, oh, it's a GPS. Huh. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. 28.2. My bad. Get her set up. Right there. I got it almost right on, man. See that? It's amazing. Get her down there real low. Get her nice and soaked in. That's normally what I always see, like when I see sprayers out. Like they either right over top of the crops, or if there's no crops, it's right over top of the ground. To make sure that like it's not misting. Because if it mists above the ground, like if it turns into mist before it hits the ground, it may not soak in as much. It'll just kind of dissipate before it actually gets there. We get turned around here. Is it only 2 passes? No. Oh, that actually spread quite a ways. Do that. And actually we'll go a little bit like that, and then it should be good. I think it should be good. Turn her on. Yeah, it'll be alright. It's getting most of it. This is just the initial fertilization anyway. A little bit there in the center, and like we want to try to maximize our soybeans, but I also don't want to waste a whole bunch of fertilizer just spraying the ground over there. That's never a good thing. Alright, got that done. Wait till she folds up. And then we'll head her back to the farm, and that'll be it for today. Really hope you guys enjoyed the work we've been doing and all the progress that's going on the Butcher Man's farm. And hope you guys come back and join me again, maybe tomorrow or something like that. We'll hang out, do some more work. Maybe we might work on field 11 or field 18, something like that. All the stuff's done for the farm, so we might could do some forestry, but I don't know. We still need to be working on expanding the farm and stuff, but forestry will help us out too if we decide to do that, because we do need money. We got a little bit of money, but we might go check on one of those 2 fields and see if maybe we can afford one of them. That might help us out a little bit. But yeah, you guys come back and see me, and as always, good day, y'all.